What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Just want to record a quick little addendum from my last video. I made a statement in that last video, and I was trying to say something around the lines of, black men stop hating and try to, you know, uh, be over on black women, and black women to stop hating on black men and be over on them. And the reason I say that is because I think there's truth to the problems that black men experience in their community and dating, and there's truth to what the black women in their dating experience. But that is not true or indicative of every black person in our community. And the fact that we're letting the internet fan the flames of things that are problems that we should address on both sides, we're just making it more of a divide for us. And we need unity more now than ever before. So I'll touch on this more and more videos. I actually have a video I want to talk about with dating and all this other stuff. But I just want to make an addendum that I didn't mean to say black men being over white women. I meant to say black men trying to lord over black women. I see a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube bros talking about how black women ain't shit. And in my mind, I'm just like, y'all forget that most of y'all were raised by black women, you know? And the black women out here talking about black men ain't shit. Y'all forget, y'all were raised with black daddies. Now I understand that if maybe some of y'all that have that person in your life, I understand that you may have had negative situations with people of the same race. I can attest. I've dated in my race, out my race. I've had negative experiences with black women, white women, whatever. But I never use that as an excuse to turn on and shit on any particular race, especially my own, because I understand that just because somebody treated me bad doesn't mean that everyone in that is gonna treat me bad. You know what I'm saying? So I never held all white women accountable for the white women that treated me poorly. I never held all black women accountable for the few black women that treated me poorly. That's a stupid ideology. And you got a lot of people out here trying to make money off that. I can't speak for black women. I know there are black women out here, I think, that are very hurt, very broken. They're mad at black men. I think there's some truth that they probably experience some things that would make them feel that way. But I think that if you're actually being honest, it would be easy to say that that's not the truth. There are a lot of black men out here who are being good fathers. There are a lot of black men out here who are working very hard. And just because they're not wealthy like that rapper or that person you see on YouTube or on TV, you assume they ain't shit. And the same for black women. A lot of black women are going to college. I'll be honest, right now in politics, women like Jasmine Crockett, you see these women out here, they're fighting for our community. And we're not solid behind them. We need to be behind them because they're in the positions of power. They're in the room with the people who are doing things that can negatively or positively affect us. Now, I understand we've been traded in the past, but that's where I'm saying y'all got to take a little bit more time to look into these people and realize who's really for you, who's really not, and stop just jumping on bandwagons because the internet triggered you. I understand it's very easy. I spend a lot of time on the internet. I watch a lot of YouTube. I look up a lot of things, but I always keep it in my back of my mind and take a lot of shit with a grain of salt. Even though some things will emotionally affect me, before I go out there and start ranting or acting foolish about it, I always give it time, and I always try to research and get a better understanding of what I'm seeing, because it might not be worth doing all that. And what I'm just trying to say is, long story short, like I said in my last video, that as far as the black community is concerned, between men and women, we have issues we need to address. And I think there are too many people trying to put it one over the other instead of realizing it's both sides need to work on some shit. It's not just bad black men or bad black women. There are bad elements in our community that are doing damage to our community and doing damage to our cohesion and our ability to come together. Some of that is definitely influenced by outside forces like white supremacy, but they're also funding people inside our group who are too broken and jaded. And we need to call those people out for their bullshit. But at the same time, we need to really recognize that some of these people are bringing up legitimate concerns, not just men and not just black women. Let's be honest. There's truth to these things, or so many people wouldn't be saying it. Now, how they're doing it is the problem. But calling out someone for not being a good father or calling out someone for not being a good woman, that's not the problem. It's how we're going about it. By trying to make it that all black men are all black women. And I was like, that's used to destroy our community. And it's just not true. I was like, we all know historically black men and women have built this country. Everywhere we go, we work hard. Are there some people in our community that aren't? Yeah, but I would say that is such a small number that at the level of what is being pushed out there doesn't match the reality of what's really happening. You know, I, for one, as a black man, I've been working since I was 13 years old. I know a lot of the brothers I know have held jobs their whole life. You know what I'm saying? More so than, if I'm being honest, some of the white kids and white men and women that I know. You know what I'm saying? And all we've ever tried to do was try to make our lives better for ourselves and the people around us that we care for. Yeah, has that always looked easy? Has it always come out clean? No. And I know because I've experienced it. Black people on the bottom sometimes, and I'm not calling out black people, and I'm not saying all black people, so let me just make this shit clear. All black people ain't like this, and I'm not trying to push that narrative. But I've experienced in my own that some black people, they fall into that same thing. It's like, if it don't look the way they want it to look, they think you're not doing anything. And it's just like, you're not in my shoes. You're not going through what I go through. I understand you're struggling too, but I don't turn around and go, oh, that person's shit, because you're not doing that. And I think there's just too much of that. And I think a lot of it now is just the black version of classism. You know what I'm saying? We've been so indoctrinated, so ingrained, so taught how to see ourselves as the better because of the material things we have. We forget that's not really our culture. It never really was our culture, not like that. You know what I'm saying? And here's an opportunity for us as black folks to really look into our history and understand what we're really about. We're not monolithic. Yes, black Americans have been very influential in the world, but at the same time, black culture is not monolithic. You know, there's a whole continent of Africa, and depending on what your country in, the cultures vary, especially on relationships. Hell, in America, depending on what part of the state, what state you're in, and what part of the country you're in, some of that shit is different. The culture's a little different. So we need to really, before we open our mouths to spit hate on one another, especially at this time where the world seems to really want to come at us, especially in America, this is our opportunity and our time to really start speaking up and defending each other, to defend black women. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm a brother, like I said earlier, I've dated black and white women. And I'll be 100% honest in this. And the reason I'm being honest in this is because it's to prove my point. All the black women I've dated have been the women who've done me the most dirty. And the reason I'm saying that is not to go all black women are bad. I'm just saying that I'm a brother who's experienced being done dirty by all black women. But I have also witnessed and been around black women who care for their men, who love their men, who are loyal to a fault, who treat their children and their husbands extraordinarily well, and they have been appreciated for that by their husbands. I've also been around black women who've done all that, and their men have treated them extraordinarily wrong. And I'll put this in there. I've also dated white women who have treated me really dirty. It just so happens, not because they're black. I don't believe that. I just believe it just so happened that the black women I was with were the ones who done me the most dirty. I do not use that as a meter to judge all black women. I think it's foolish to do so, because I know as a black man what it's like to be judged for things that aren't necessarily of me. So why would I go around and start treating our sisters like that? And I feel like as black men, we need to understand that. We need to understand our involvement in the people we choose, how we choose, because it takes two to have a relationship, right? Yes, people can lie to you and fib on you and get you in there, but at some level you have to take responsibility for, like, I didn't pay attention enough. Yeah, they were good liars. First time, sure. Second time is empty. Third time, it's on you. You know? So you can't hold that against a whole group of people. I refuse to do it. You know? And that's all I wanted to say. Just a amendment to that it's not black men holding down white women. I don't think black men hold white women down like that. I mean, I think the only cases you ever hear of black men trying to impose their will on white women usually comes from very wealthy, affluent white men who've been caught up in that, what I like to call the wealthy crazy syndrome, where it's like motherfuckers get so wealthy, they forget, you know, the world, how it really works, and they get caught up in some crazy shit. But I was like, average? If it does happen, it's so fucking rare that you really can't call it like a cultural thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, more often than not, I see black and brown couples together, they hold each other down. And I'll be straight, I live in a very conservative area, unfortunately. You know, right now where I live, it's mostly white folks. Nothing wrong with that, but they're very conservative, so I gotta deal with the Trump shit all the fucking time. I was like, the only fortunate thing for me is that because of my size and my stature, most people don't fuck with me. But that don't make me bulletproof. But the black couples I do see out here, they hold each other down. They hold each other down regardless. So I'm like, to turn around and watch people on the internet, black men and women come on here and talk shit. And I get it, y'all got clips of like black men and women showing their ass, whatever, whatnot. I'm not saying it's not true, but what I'm saying is it's not indicative of the whole. Those things being true in the sense that they do happen is not being true that is the majority of black men or black women. I think we need to really understand that. I think if black men and black women understand that, we could be so much more of a force. You know what I'm saying? So much more of a force for ourselves and our community for positive change, because we really do need each other to make it. If black men and black women cannot come together, and I know a lot of them are, and I know the reason we don't see that is because, again, we live all over the United States. Yeah, we're consolidated in certain areas, so you're going to get the best and the best and the worst of the worst there. But don't let the internet push you into some belief that all black men ain't shit and all black women ain't shit. Fuck all that. Just because some white people don't like black women don't mean we don't. You know what I'm saying? I'll say it right now. My favorite type of black woman is a fit, dark-skinned chick. That's it. I was like, I never really been a fan of like extra light skinned black girls. Not saying they're not beautiful. I don't think that's the case. I think there are definitely a lot of beautiful ones. But for me, when I see like a dark-skinned sister who takes care of herself, has a great complexion, who's very healthy, and I'm not saying she got to be a bodybuilder, but you know the difference. She takes pride in her appearance. To me, that shit is beautiful. It's not even like, it's beyond sexy beautiful. It's another level of beautiful. That's the kind of shit when you look, you like, yo, you respect how beautiful you are. My first initial thought isn't I'm trying to fuck. My first thought was like, goddamn, she's beautiful. And I think a lot of brothers feel that way too. But because of the rhetoric online, the culture that we've been brainwashed into, that's not representative of the reality that we live, brothers are afraid to say that. Some dudes get on the internet and say it, of course, but that's because they got a following and they're making money. I'm not making any money. I don't even got that many followers yet. I don't got no followers, if I'm being honest. So by the time people start watching these videos, they've been recorded for a while, if my shit takes off. So what I'm saying, there's no weight on my income or my status or nothing. It's just my straight up facts, my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So just want to put that in there. It's already running on 12 minutes. Quick talk. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Be safe. You know what I'm saying? And let's come together. Let's make it happen. Let's work on each other. All right. Peace.